Hello everybody, this is Orange, and welcome to my Abyss, and welcome to my July 2023 manga haul. Dang, we're starting out the year pretty strong, I think. It's been an interesting month so far when it comes to manga releases, both new and manga collections I've collected, old, and comics as well, of course, because it's me. Over this month I've collected, I think, about 36 different manga, along with a few graphic novels as well that I'll show off at the end. So let's jump into it with Mob Psycho 100, Volume 10. As we're recording this, I actually haven't got a chance to read this one yet. I literally got it today, and I'm going to read it as soon as this video is wrapped up. What I am surprised about, though, is I thought this would have been the last volume, but it looks like there's going to be like at least one more after this. But really, I don't really mind. The more Mob Psycho, the more good in my life. I love Mob Psycho 100, like most people do. And also the covers are always just a treat to look at. Look at my boy. And in the back, too. Yep, more mob, more good. I'm putting it on this side, so I'll read it when I'm done. And then, underneath that, we have the Case Study of Vanitas, Volumes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And with that being, I am all caught up with what is currently released of Vanitas. For some reason, I kind of like fell off the bus for a little bit with Vanitas. I got like kind of bored, and it's like, not really interested into collecting you anymore. But then, for some reason, a switch in my brain went off, and it's like, I want to collect Vanitas again. And I did, and it's a great, good, fun time. I really enjoy it. It's actually by the same mangaka as Pandora Hearts, which is one of my favorite manga of all time. And this one's still pretty good. Hasn't reached the point where I think it overtakes Pandora Hearts yet, but I love the characters. The character designs are godly, like always, dang. And it's so beautiful too, and I love, it's just a good time. I like learning about the mystery, the twists, the turns, the angst. That's all I care about, the angst. And then below that we have Usatoki Rhetoric, Volume 1. This is a newish release that I picked up, and I'm really glad I did. It's super fun, it's super adorable and cute. It's about a little detective girl who can hear people's lies, and she becomes a detective, and it's just a good, fun time, and I can't wait to get more of this. Yeah, but I think the next volume's coming out next month, and I'm super excited for that one, because it's just like, it was a fun read. Sometimes you just need a fun read. Okay? You just need a fun read sometimes, guys. Don't get on my back. And now the opposite of a fun read, we have PTS Radio, Volume 2. Again, hitting it out of the park with the covers. I think this cover is, as long as the last one, it's so, like, beautiful and striking, and I think they use the, like, laminated and, like, raised textures very well. It's just like a book to behold. And PTS Radio is a horror manga, of course. And I think at this point it's pretty divisive, at least in the manga community from what I've heard, because the chapters are all super short and it tells like sort of an ongoing narrative, which the chapters being short makes sense for the author because they mainly, their I guess most well-known work on Funotan, which I think should have got published first because it's actually completed, but you know, who am I to judge? All those chapters are super short, but they aren't connected. So this one is just, like, different for a lot of people to read through, because, like, chapters can, like, range from, like, 5 pages max to, like, 1 page, and people are, like, confused, like, what's going on? And this manga is also, I believe, on at least indefinite hiatus for reasons. I believe it's because the mangaka thought that the contents they were writing about cursed them. And you know what I always say? Take your breaks if you need them. Take your breaks for your mental health. Your mental health is more important than the art you make. Take as long as your break you need. But yeah, it's a bit of a divisive manga in the community, but I'm enjoying it. I love the horror a whole bunch, and I'm just a fan. But I do hope that if enough people buy these, they will publish Funotan, because I do prefer that work a lot more. I love Funotan. Please publish it, please. It even says on the back from the creator of Funotan. That's not available in English. Print it. And then below that we have Children of the Whales, volumes 17, 18, 19, and 20, which means I am all caught up with Children of the Whales as well. What can I say about this series? I've been enjoying it greatly. It's just such a good, beautiful time. I love the characters, the world, and the magic. It's just so good. I'm so glad to be finally caught up. Just in time to hear that I think the manga will be ending soon, like in a couple volumes. It's like, oh, I got all the way caught up for you to end, but oh well. It's great how it is. And below that we have, I'm mad, we have Inuyasha, volumes 15, 16, 17, and 18. And I did have volume 14 like ordered. I like ordered for months now. And then like this month the seller contacted me and it's all like, we weren't able to get our hands on this manga. And I'm like, then why the heck did you list it then of having it? So that's annoying. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on volume 14 soon, because that would mean I'll be totally complete with all the Inuyasha. And I love Inuyasha. It's just a good fun time. I just think it's like fun. Sometimes you just need some fun in your life. Come on, guys. Read Inuyasha, have some fun. But it's a good series, 18 in total, and hopefully I will find a way to get volume 14 eventually. Don't list it if you don't have it. It's that simple. And below that we have Kageki Shoujo. This is the omnibus that starts out the series. It actually it's Kageki Shoujo, then Kageki Shoujo The Curtain Rises. It's divided up into like 2 parts, and this is the first part. Start with this one. It's the big thicky omnibus. And this was just, I watched the anime for this like a few months back or so, and I enjoyed it greatly. And what's always the case with me is I watch the anime and then it like fades into the back of my brain, and then suddenly like months later I start thinking about how much I adore it, and it's like I need to pick up the manga as well. And it's a really fun, good time for you theater kids out there. It does touch on like different, like heavier subject matter, but for most of the time, it's super fun. It's super cute. I just love the artwork. It's so frilly and adorable and great, and I love the character designs, and their characters are super fun too. It's just a good fun time. I can't wait to pick up more. We're going there, and then, oh boy, we're on stack number 2. Starting up with Adam the Beginning. If you do not know, this is technically a prequel in big old quotation marks to Astro Boy. And if you can't tell, I think he's right there. I don't know if you can see him. That's a little Astro Boy figure. I'm a Tezuka fan. I adore Tezuka stuff. To an extent, I adore a lot of Tezuka stuff. And typically, like, the spin-offs, I think, can usually, like, of, like, his stuff made by, like, other authors can, like, range in quality. But, like, I remember really liking the Adam anime, and I've read a few chapters of the manga before, and so I'm like, oh, I'll just pick it up. And I had a great time. It's so fun. It's so cute. It focuses a lot on tournament arcs, which typically I'm not into, but, like, the aesthetic of these tournament arcs, I think, are something I'm into. But for right now, it's just, like, little slice of lifey stuff with our 2 guys. Our 2 guys. Just good. Hella fun. I love Tezuka stuff, guys. It's so good. But yeah, it's Adam the Beginning, and I can't wait to pick up more of this one. It's just a good time. And the artwork, I think, is, like, super unique, too, because Tezuka himself has a really, like, unique art style, of course, with being, like, taking more inspiration from, like, Disney cartoons, because, like, anime didn't exist yet, manga didn't exist yet. He made the aesthetic. And I think they translated a lot of, like, the designs really well. I do think, though, I keep calling him Elephant because I'm so used to the bad English dubs, or Chowser, I believe. I wish he was plus size in this. That's just what I'm saying. Like, I get it. He's younger. He still has his big nose and fuzzy hair, and I love that. But God, I wish he was fat. He's the only guy I got. I love him so much. But his design is still cute in this. I love Tezuka and noses. I just wish he was plus size, please. But you really can't go back and change it now, can you? The manga's old, and you can't go back and change it now. He just gets fat in his old age. Who cares? And then below that, I have an explanation to make. It's Alice in the Country of Hearts by Fanatic Rabbit, Volume 1. If you can't tell from one of the previous videos that I posted on this channel, I'm currently having Alice in the Country of Hearts brain rot, if you will. It was a series I was really into in middle and high school. It's super nostalgic for me. I go back to read it. It's alright, but I still keep it, like, out of funsies because, like, it's fun to, like, go back and read. There's a lot of stuff in there that I do adore, and one of those things I learned I did adore is Elliot, and I actually used to have I used to own a lot of the Alice in the Country of, like, spin-off manga, and I got rid of most of it because it didn't really vibe with me that well, but my brain snapped in two, and it said, you want this one, you want this one. Elliot is one of my favorite boys. I think I like his relationship best with Alice. I think he's, like, the best guy in this cast for her. And he's also, his design is super cute, and it's like, I just wanted to pick it up, because the memories, and of course being, Alice in the Country of, like, a lot of the, spin-off manga is hard to get across, or hard to get your hands on now, because, Quinn Rose, went defunct, uh-oh. But if I ever find Volume 2, that'll be nice, but I'm glad I have this one, because I also adore that cover, too. This, I think, has, like, one of the prettiest, like, aesthetics and art, and, like, in the entire, like, Alice in the Country of, like, series, because a lot of the manga has, like, different artists. A lot of the spin-off manga has different artists that do, like, different things. And, like, who are you? Delicious Psych. They I think have some like the strongest, most like cutesy, beautiful like art style, and I love it. And I love Elliot, and I'm so glad it's in my hands. They're having a picnic. And below that we have Queen's Quality, volumes 2 and 16. 16 is the one that most recently came out. Oh, wonderful, beautiful, perfect, great. I am so happy I started collecting this series. It just gets better and better. I was like scrolling through the pages and like this, they visit like this underwater world. And I literally like audibly screamed, yo, because I love the aesthetic so much. It was so cool. So yeah, more Queen's Quality. You should read Queen's Quality. And then I was finally able to get my hands on volume 2 of Queen's Quality. This was out of stock for a long time, and I was able to find a copy for a cover price. Used, of course. It's a library copy, so it's a bit crusty on the side, but you can't tell. You can't tell, only I can tell. So yep, I was finally able to get my hands on volume 2, and the only thing I need from the series now is volume 1 of QQ Sweeper, which I wish Viz would tell us when they're doing reprints. Like, they tell us when they do a lot of reprints, they're not telling us when they're doing this reprint. Or at least you can find websites that like tell you when manga is like doing reprints. I can't find anything for QQ Sweeper Volume 1. It's only one book, please, where are you? And it's the first book of the series. It should be the one that's the most available. But that's just me. And below that, oh no, we have a chunk, don't you? Don't we? Kami-sama Kiss. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. Oh, I didn't just count 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. I miscounted all of this. Either way, 5 through 16. I don't know why I wanted to collect so much this month. I just did. It's like, I think it's because I really want to like strike out a lot of my manga backlog and only be like focusing on like currently like releasing stuff, because I think it's harder to collect manga when you're in the backlog because things like constantly go out of print or like lose stock, and it's just like annoying, and it's like I just wanted to have it entirely collected. And I do think, and like next month I got all my pre-orders in. I should be finishing up the series with the next month too, and I'll read it at my leisure once I have it in. But it's Kami-sama because I have read up to 16. Ooh, it's so good. It's just like a fun, good, cute time. It has like a lot of like heart and depth to it. It's so good, guys. I love Kami-sama Kiss. Yep, so I'm excited to finish collecting it too. I love me some funny yokai. And then beneath that we have Pokemon Adventures. Heart Gold Soul Silver. Finally was able to get my hands on volume 2. It's only a 2-volume series. Well, technically it's a longer volume series because the Pokemon Adventure manga will never end. It's been going on since the 90s, and it will continue until the eventual heat death of the universe, whenever that occurs. But I like this one because I love Heart Gold Soul Silver. I love the characters of like Silver, Chris, and like and Gold. I love them so much, and I wanted to have like their little story in my hands. And yeah, I do. So because I do have the collector's editions of the adventure, and that goes up to Emerald, I believe. Yes. And then I have the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire manga, and that is solely because I am an Archie and Maxie stan, and I need to have them with me 24/7. And this one's just, I love the characters. I just love Pokemon Adventures. It's so good, guys. The only problem is the spine, I think, is really silly. It's just like Chris, like sideways, and I get it. She's sideways on the cover too, but it just looks so goofy on the spine. It looks like she's gonna faceplant. Why is she like this? She's sideways! But who's complaining? I'm not. And then beneath that, we have number 6, and this is the omnibus version, so it's technically 1, but technically it's 1, 2, 3 out of 9. So they're re-releasing number 6 in these omnibus formats, and I've watched the number 6 anime before, and I really enjoyed it. And for some reason, like, I didn't really ever feel compelled to like pick up the manga until like I heard they were doing like these 301s, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. And I finally decided to pick it up, and the manga is fantastic. Who would have thunk it? But it's just a good, fun time. Look at the boys. Will they perhaps fall in love? You can decide. Yeah, but I'm happy I'm finally picking up this one as well. It's going to be a good series to finally have on my shelf. Oh god, my bed's covered in manga. Oh no, where do I put you? Don't fall. Please. And then we're getting into the comic section. Okay, boys, time to talk about comics. Everyone's favorite. I need to get a haircut. I'm gonna get a haircut next week, guys. I'm so sorry my bangs are like this. And we have, Neverlanders. It's just Peter Pan, but, like, not. I don't know, but it always looked interesting to me. I got a sample of it for like a free comic book day thing, and I finally decided to actually like pick up the pick up the comic, and I really enjoyed it. I do wish it was longer. I feel like a lot of the because of how short it is and it only being one volume, it has a lot of characters, and a lot of the characters don't really feel like they are fully fleshed out. I wanted to get to know the characters like a lot more than we did, because a lot of them have a lot of stuff going on, and it's great, but I just wish we got more. But what we do have, I do like a whole lot. The artwork is very pretty. I'm a fan. Peter Pan, man. And then, beneath that, we have, Rose. If you don't, Rose. If you don't know, this is a prequel to the classic Bone series, and Bone is like one of the most, I think, iconic comic books ever written. I think if like you are a fan of comics in general, like including manga, if you haven't read Bone, what are you doing? It is like one of the most, I think, iconic series like probably ever written. But this is a prequel following Rose. She's the old lady in the in Bone, but we follow her as a young adult in this one, and you know, it's just a good one. This is gonna sound weird, but if it wasn't for Rose, I probably wouldn't read comics in general. Because I remember when I was super young and first getting into comics, my school had a volume of Rose, and it had the first volume of Amulet. I love you, Amulet. I'll talk about you later, I swear. And I used to check this out at the library so much, at the school library. And so I finally decided I'm gonna buy them myself. And so I went to like a Barnes and Noble. Was it a Barnes and Noble? I went to a bookstore. You know, bookstores go out of business. And I was like, do you guys have Rose? And they're like, no, we don't have Rose. And I was like, do you have Amulet? And they're like, yes, we have the first 2 volumes of Amulet. And I have only read the first volume of Amulet ever. So I was like, oh, I'll pick up the second one. So I picked up both of them. And the second volume of Amulet is one of my favorite pieces of fiction ever written. And it's like one of the reasons why I started like writing comics myself and reading comics myself. So literally, if it wasn't for like Books A Million or whatever not having this in stock, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking to you about manga in this fervor. But yeah, you not being there saved me. But now you are here in my collection and I can put you next to Bone for fun. So that was a tangent. I am so sorry. And we're actually on to a few floppies or issues. I've heard a few people call them. I like calling them floppies because it makes people go, what are you saying? A lot of this is actually from my dad. He recently went through a lot of like his old like floppies that he had when he was a kid. And he's like, go through this entire collection, see what you like. And I picked out a few things because I like the retro comics, but like I also feel like I don't want to hoard all the retro comics to me. If we can give the retro comics like to people who actually like will appreciate those retro comics more than me, I'm happy. But I just picked out like ones that also a lot of these aren't retro comics either. Some that were like from free comic book days that didn't come with him too. But a lot of them are retro comics that I remember reading from his collection because I read a lot from his collection. This is a free comic book day issue, I think from 2015? I know the next one is, so I'm going to assume, you know, just a fun floppy. This one's definitely another free comic book day from 2015. You know, this one, another fun one. And then we actually have two retro comics. One being Spooky Boo. I think I remember reading this one a whole bunch because I thought he was Casper, and I was a big fan of Casper. I still am. I love that little ghost. And there is a few Casper stories in here. God, the smell. It has a smell. Why do you watch this channel? It's just such a nostalgic smell to me. Just like the old, like, musk of 50-year-old comics. Oh, another thing. I love the ads that, like, show up in a lot of these, like, old things. Oh, God, that's so cool. Oh, no, I'm gonna go on a tangent. Look at how cool all these old advertisements are. God, I love that so much. Oh, they're so tiny. Oh, God, the smell. So many memories. Such a good time. God, I can't talk about this forever. And then I have it fell, but it's okay. I don't take good care of my vintage comics. This isn't going to go for much anyway. It's crusty. And then I have The House of Secrets, which is, looks like to me a horror anthology. I literally just wanted to keep this because I thought the cover was radical as hell. Look at that. It's a skeleton with bones. Of course, approved by the Comics Code Authority. Thanks, guys. I'm bitter. I'm only kind of bitter. Thanks, Comics Code Authority. You're like the Hays Code, but for comics. Boo! I've had a long week, guys. I am so sorry the vibes are this weird in this video. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is that advertisement? Oh no! How to tell your dad you're ready for a Daisy BB gun. It doesn't have an orange tip. This was before they were required to have orange tips. Oh my god. That's insane. Oh my god. Still only 20 cents. Good to know, DC. So that's everything, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. Did you also have a mental break halfway through this video? And you can only think about Spooky the Ghost and Casper? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a lovely night.